This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
This is going to be an extremely busy month. I have to watch 104 soccer games, follow the pregame, the postgame, yell useless opinions at the TV. It's a lot. So I knew that when it comes to screening for colon cancer, the choice was clear. The Cologuard Plus test. It can be used at home and can only take 15 minutes, so I can do it during halftime and not miss any action. If you are 45 or older and at average risk, ask your healthcare provider about screening for colon cancer with the Cologuard test. You can also request a prescription at Cologuard.com.
Former Congressman Peter King, former chairman of the Homeland Security Department, and Congressman King, we've got to ask you to continue our discussion here that we've been having all morning about the national security issue that foreign money, whether it's in campaign funds...
Well, first of all, the title of the conversation is America is under attack.
Yep. Right. America under attack, not just from Iran or from terrorists and bombs, but from money, from fentanyl, and from voting influence. All of this is illegal. What are your takes on all this? Because we think this is just as dangerous as bombs and guns.
No, there's no doubt there is a threat from foreign money. All I would say, though, is that there also is a threat from within, that even without the foreign money, Mandami and that crowd would still be powerful. But the foreign money adds to it and gives them power they wouldn't have otherwise. It's something that has to be analyzed much more carefully, should be prosecuted, I believe, and they're getting away with it for a long time. The only thing I would say is, let's not just focus on that, because the fact is, whether there's any money or not, there is a real threat, political threat in this country for people who support Mandami, whether or not there's money. The money adds to it, that puts them over the top. So to me, we have to fight this on many fronts.
Peter King, but we also learned, and I played the sound of a member of the German government admitting and boasting that they have been using German money, government money, to recruit socialist candidates. From some foundation.
A foundation in Germany.
Yeah.
Influencing... I can't believe this stuff is happening.
Recruiting candidates.
And nobody goes to jail.
Well, it should. I mean, any type of use of foreign money is illegal, or it's almost entirely illegal. It should be investigated and prosecuted. And it's been going on for years, but it's really increased the last several years. I mean, Russia has been trying to influence our elections for 50 years. But the fact is, within the last, I'd say, 10 years, all that big money, blue money, all of that, so much of that is infiltrated with foreign funds. And it's there. There's no doubt about it. So it has to be, again, I think, investigated much more carefully than it has been.
Hey, Peter, it's George.
Hey, George, how you doing?
Good. Until you make an example, you're not going to stop it. You have to. You have to deter what's going on, and I think you were there. You were under pressures of raising funds, and I think for a lot of these politicians, they need the money. And it's sad how, like John says, we're under attack in many ways. But this is the biggest area that we're under attack. Influence.
People have gone to jail. They went to jail under Eric Adams' administration. You had this guy, Erdogan Arkin. Okay, they claimed that he funneled money from Turkish government to the Adams campaign, right?
Yeah.
So during the Biden administration, they probably speeded up the process of incarcerating people. But, we need to speed it up. As John said, people need to go to jail. Politicians are there to represent us, not to rob us, not to, take foreign money and compete with their competitors.
Peter, it's
George, I think you'll agree with us. Many times that money, you don't know it's foreign money.
This is Fernando, Peter.
Well, no, let him finish.
Yes.
Let him finish, okay? Please, let's not step over each other. Go ahead, Peter.
What I was going to say is that the danger is often when that money is received, the candidate, fantasy candidate, does not even realize it's foreign money. It's much more clever than that. I'll say it right here in New York. I think, George, you'll agree with me on this. It's a real threat from Chinese money.
Yeah.
See these indictments coming down, and that's a reality. And these are people very respected, looking very respectful in the community, and they Meanwhile, they're working their way in, and the money has a real political influence. So China is, I think we focus on Russia, and we should, but also China is a real threat. You people are Captain Hope staff. We've had right now, Frank Carone, it's so close to decades, I don't know. But again, you're talking about foreign money, Chinese money. And so it comes in many shapes and forms, and it really has to be investigated.
No, they're really smart in how they cover it up. There's no doubt about that. Very smart. And even the Act Blue, that was, think about it, that was a ingenious way of doing it. But that's why we have to, once we get a handle on some of this stuff, we got to break it open.
For everybody that wants to know when we raised the price, when President Biden's administration raised the price of oil to $100 a barrel, it made the foreigners wealthy beyond. And what they did is to reward back the Democratic Party, they fed it back through Act Blue.
Yeah.
Hundreds of millions of dollars. They made hundreds. They donated hundreds of millions, but they made hundreds of billions.
100%.
So it's like giving a commission. Right. Thank you for making us billions of dollars. Here's a couple of $100 million. And the Democratic Party through Act Blue found a system to bring it in and not report it.
Right. And that's where I think Soros does it, a lot of it for gain, for financial gain.
Yeah, he has no ideology. Yeah. He's not a leftist. Don't call him a leftist. He just wants money. He wants
There's
to.
no leftists or rightists. He's about money.
Yeah, that's it.
He's trying to figure out the best way to make money.
It's a cheap investment for him. I mean, the amount of money that he originally spent on these district attorney elections, which no one had ever nationally sponsored. All these local DA elections
to create disorder.
Right. 100%. Because he knew, listen, this guy has a running bet, George, and everyone else, against the U.S. dollar. That's George Soros's bet. And it's a bad bet, by the way. So we'll have the last laugh.
Well, President Trump made it a bad bet.
That's right. But Peter King, he's not a leftist, or he's not. He's trying to undermine the country, correct?
Yeah. Oh, he definitely wants to undermine our way of life, our structure. And that includes the economy. And yes, I mean, you're right. There's no doubt he's not a good guy. And he also is coming out of all different directions. I do think he has a political ideology, but most of all, his main ideology is to bring down the country.
Peter King, America also under attack. We talked about drugs. We talked about fentanyl. And how there is a difference between the drug trafficking of today and the drug trafficking of the Miami Vice 1980s. Sure, the Mexican gangs that are at the final end of that chain are looking to make money, but the Chinese who created this fentanyl and flooded it into those gangs, they're also not about, they're the opposite of Soros. They're not about money. They're about killing our children. John was saying it's like a 737 crashing every day. I said it's like a Vietnam War every other month in the amount of people who are being killed. You must have seen some of this while you were still in Congress.
China is coming at us from all directions.
Yep.
Drug trade, the fentanyl, all of that is a major part of it. So is their cyber attacks on us. So is the fact that they're expanding their business interests all over the world, whether it's South America, North Africa, Europe. China is coming at us from all directions. That's why President Trump keeps saying that President Xi is his friend. I wouldn't trust him charging his throne. That is the ultimate danger China is. They're moving everywhere. Their military is expanding dramatically. And you're right, fentanyl and drugs are a key component, but they are, it's like an octopus coming at you from every different direction.
Fernando Mateo, I want to ask you to join the conversation with a question I have for you, but also for how do people on the street, the workers in the cities, suffer from this? How are they affected by it?
Taxi cab drivers.
They're when you come into the neighborhoods where bodegas and cab drivers drop people, and where people live, they're affected because it's their community consuming the fentanyl. It's their community consuming the drugs. It's their communities that are involved in all this crime and all these shootings and all these murders. This doesn't happen in wealthy neighborhoods. Of course, you're going to get a wealthy kid once in a while that becomes a junkie. But most of this is happening in the housing projects in NYCHA, okay? In the Bronx, in Brooklyn, in Queens, and all over the areas where our community lives. So we're the ones deeply affected by this, okay? And we are the ones that need to start fighting back by putting the right people in office. Okay?
Well, that's
and
it.
we're not doing that.
They're also affected by it's their politicians who are being funded by this foreign money and being influenced. That's right.
They are being funded, but understand something. The reason why everyone believes that the outer boroughs are all Democratic, strongholds, they are wrong. The reason why they are thought to be Democratic strongholds is because every elected official is a Democrat. Your assemblyman, your senator, your councilman, your congressman. So you're surrounded by Democrats. But the truth of the matter is that these business people are not Democrats. They're Republicans. We just haven't gone after them. We haven't done anything to stop all this nonsense, okay? So the drugs are affecting the black community and the Hispanic community more than any community out there.
Peter King, last word to you. What's your prognosis? I mean, not just your prognosis, but what's your idea how we can fix this? Prescription.
We need all-out effort. As I said, we have to fight them on all fronts. Obviously, drug use is the main one. Foreign money is another one. Also, Chinese influence and other governments try to influence our government, our businesses, and also foreign policy. We have to stay strong. All of this is combined, but you're right, defensive. If I can say one thing, I'm on my way to a funeral of a good friend, Charlie Norton. Nobody should feel sorry for him. He led a great life. He was always mad at me, but never mentioning his name on radio. So, Charlie, if you're listening, I'm on the way to your funeral now. I'm on WABC, and I'm going down to Breezy Point. We'll have a drink for you afterwards.
Breezy Point. Oh, the Rockaways. Very, very soft spot in my heart. Fernando, I lived there too. Not in Breezy Point. I lived in the regular Far Rockaway, but okay.
Peter, it's always an honor having you here. You bring an institution of knowledge.
Thank you so much, Peter, and have a great weekend and enjoy celebrating the life of your friend.
Have a great weekend, Peter.
Okay.
Take care, Peter. Peter, you're the best.
Thanks for listening to Sid and Friends in the Morning. You can hear Sid and Friends in the Morning weekday mornings at 6. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?